What's up, everybody? Today is a very special day. We have our very first viewer package came through the mail, and I wouldn't hate to mention that this is also a reminder for our 400 subscriber giveaway. We are giving away a Sensei's Divining Top and a foil Great Henge, so that's pretty spicy stuff. And you just have to simply comment on the video. I'll choose the video. Like, I'll just randomize it from the ones that I've made since 300 subscribers. And then I'll randomize a comment. You know, each person gets credit for a comment in a video. And on that particular video, and I'll just spin like a random wheel. And, you know, I think we're getting about 1 to 2 people commenting per video, and including this person. So there's a good chance that they'll get it again. His name is Vahn, and he's been very loyal to the channel. He sent me a really sweet note here, and it really connected with me. I do love to kind of see shared interests. I didn't really know that the channel would kind of like develop into that, you know, particular, you know, kind of, you know, development, like, you know, sharing similar interests for commanders, and kind of like, you know, sharing thoughts about it and kind of growing, has been very enriching. And thanks again for that sweet note. I hope we do meet paths, you know, sometime in the future, and sit down for some commander and just get our trade binders out and just chill it, man. That'd be wonderful. But this package, I do know some of the contents of this package. It's the Commander Omo. And my first thoughts on this is, like, I'd have to say, anyone who mentions this commander to me, like, just like in passing, I kind of like assume that you're kind of a big brain, because I do, like, you know, visit the CGB Discord, and one of like the contributors on that particular forum, they were very skilled. They basically kind of courted me through, you know, Commander, and transitioning even from Brawl, which has like a more limited card pool, to a Commander format. And one of the commanders that he gravitated to was Omo, and Omo is like you know, a kind of a thinking man commander, that's for sure. It's a Simic commander, and it has to do with everything counters. So I'm going to find that card first, and then like we can like just have like our first thoughts about it. It looks like there's some sweet kind of, you know, supporting cards in here, so I'll be kind of careful. And I assume that they kind of like synergize to an extent. There might just be some cards in general in here. Ooh, this is really nice, man. Thank you so much. So, oh God, even Hadron Crab. Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, I love this. These are cards that I kind of need already. There's the Tron Lands. Okay, so these are very key for the Omo deck. I know that. So, some sweet cards here. Thank you so much. Whisper Silk Cloak. Oh, these are fantastic. Maybe Omo is not in here herself. That's okay though. Let me just check one more time, because we did get the Tron Lands. Maybe it's worth a couple dollars here, but it's cool. I will explain the card. I will do my best to explain it by memory. So Omo, okay. So that particular card is a Simic commander, and it is I believe it's a multi-costed, like, you can play hybrid mana for it, and then I think it's 2 generic mana. And I do believe when it enters the battlefield, it can make I think it can make another target permanent, like, have an everything counter on it, meaning that it's every type, which is interesting in the sense that if you were to give like a forest that everything counter, it would have the type of an Urza land. Like, it basically can assume any form of any type of any card that's kind of existed, that has that particular type through Magic's history. So let me kind of zoom in on this one a little bit here. And you can imagine that, like, getting the Tron Lands, you know, like basically like having an additional Tron land, you know, coming onto the battlefield, would be nice. It'd be a nice synergy. And I believe, for instance, Let's read the criteria. Add generic or add a color list, for instance. If you control an Urza's power plant in an Urza's tower, add 2 colorless instead. Oh, very well. So if I just have to do that twice, right, to like have Omo put an everything counter on 2 of my lands, and then have like another Urza land out in the battlefield, and then all of a sudden they're tapping for Tron. So that's a very interesting effect. Please let me know in the comments if I have it accurately or not. I would assume that if you were able to put 3 everything counters on lands you control without even an Urza's tower on the battlefield, I believe you would be able to assemble Tron as well. So it's such an interesting commander. It is definitely a if you control land with all land types, Urza's Mind taps for 2 colorless as well. Huh? That's really interesting text too. I'd like to read this card. Urza's Mind, land Urza's Mind, add colorless. If you control an Urza's power plant and an Urza's tower, that's usually the generic, the classic way of assembling it, right? You have these 3 lands out on the battlefield, and then instead of they produce 1, they start producing like for Ancient 2 mana, which is really cool too instead. And if you control a land with all land types, Urza's Mind taps for 2 colorless. So I suppose we just need one of our lands to have an everything counter on it as well, and I suppose perhaps that's the criteria why these become more valuable. Is that how this works? Please let me know. I just wanted to kind of like react to this video and kind of maybe do my thought process for this. If that's just the criteria, I mean, we could have an everything land and all of a sudden like our Urza's Mind, our Urza's power plant. Thanks so much, man. This is amazing. And Urza's tower, they would just all of a sudden, holy shit. This one will tap 3 for 3. Dang. If you control land with all land types, Urza's tower taps for 3. That's like a different like criteria, it seems. How interesting. I just like, is that can't be a very common like criteria, is it? Like lands that have all land types? Please let me know. I'm so kind of excited. Obviously, these cards, you can see, these are getting into like a territory where I'm not really in my comfort zone, really. I'm definitely like from an Ikoria type of player. So this is just kind of, a little bit different for me. And, I know like there's definitely some modern players out there, they probably would do a lot better in this kind of format, just, have that experience and kind of are familiar with like kind of these synergies. Obviously, we have some really interesting cards here. I'd love to just read these through and just kind of see what's going on and see if anything kind of connects here. So this is a one generic costed artifact, Library of Lang. Skip the discard phase of your turn. If a spell or effect forces you to discard, you may discard to the top of your library rather than to your graveyard. If the discard is random, you may look at the card before choosing where to discard it. Okay. That's very interesting. So you just kind of retain the card rather than it go to your graveyard. Interesting. Okay, 3 wishes. Take the top 3 cards from your library, look at them, and set them aside face down. You may play those cards as though they were in your hand. At the beginning of your next turn, bury any of those cards not played. I'll definitely have to read that one again. This is a 1 generic, 2 blue. It's an instant speed spell. Take the top 3 cards from your library, look at them, and set them aside face down. You may play those cards as though they were in your hand. Okay. At the beginning of your next turn, bury any of those cards not played. So like definitely like kind of an impulse kind of draw there. Interesting. At instant speed, that's kind of nice. A nice selection. But thanks for that card, brother. That's cool. The Hedron Crab. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. I am familiar with this one. The interesting one about this is you can target yourself. So I am considering putting this in the Typal deck also, Vahn. Yeah, I think the Hedron Crab would kind of be a good fit. I'm just I have that as like a brawl list right now, but I am definitely considering the Hadron Crab to kind of get busy on our graveyard for sure. Yep, definitely. We love that. We love building that graveyard, huh? Doughty Embrace. Cool. Target creature gains shadow until end of turn. I know all of these might not have to do with Omo. Maybe they do. But I know, for instance, this is a black card. So these are probably just some of his favorite cards, which is very cool. This is a 3-mana enchantment, 2 black. Target creature gains shadow until end of turn. Ooh, that's a nasty boy. Yeah, we can get in with that. That's sweet. Yeah, there's like basically like a Doughty Voidwalker, and like there's like a couple other like playable cards with shadow from my experience. So you're probably getting in pretty easily with that one, right? Look at this fool. It's so shiny. Ubun, Muldaya Ancestor. This is a Naya legendary creature, Elf Spirit. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target land you control becomes an XX elemental creature with trample and haste until end of turn, where X is Ubun's power. It's still a land. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1 counter on target creature. I think it's fantastic. I think I love it. So this is how many lands you control. Is that true? Oh no, it's based on Ubun's power. I still love it. I still think it's very cool. Very cool for like the Aragorn deck, actually. Might revisit Aragorn with like the new loots and such. They're very cool. Path to Exile, just like a classic, nice 1-mana removal spell. Nice little, I think what they call this, not special guests, but secret layer, right? Or promos. Beautiful. I love that shooting star right there. Thanks, man. Congregation at Down. Look at these old cards. Aren't they beautiful, guys? This is what I'm talking about. Search your library for up to 3 creature cards and reveal them. Yeah. Oh, that's sick, dude. It's just like, man, just tutoring up your homies. Search your library for up to 3 creature cards and reveal them. Shuffle your library, then put the cards on top in any order. Oh, yes, please. I'll just draw whatever I want to draw. Cool. That's at instant speed. Dang, man. Whisper Silk Cloak. 3 colorless. Equipped creature is unblockable. Or just generic. Equipped creature is unblockable and has Shroud. Yes. Equip 2. Very nice. We like unblockability. And Shroud? That's busted. Sometimes I like my things to be able to be targeted like by my own things. That's why Shroud is kind of a weird one, huh, guys? Like with Lightning Greaves. Can't be touching your own stuff anymore. But, you know, they can be effective. Tower Winder. Reach Death Touch. Whoa. When Tower Winder enters the battlefield, search your library or graveyard for a card named Command Tower. Gas. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. I love it. Sick card. 6 snag. Reach and Death Touch? Busted. Kind of wants me to build that Ophelia deck. Cetesian Tactics. Oh, these are awesome. This is an instant speed spell. Strive. Cetesian Tactics costs green more to cast for each target beyond the first. How interesting. It's too bad Orvar's not in green colors, huh? We were thinking about that the other day. Till end of turn, any number of target creature gets 1/1 and gain. This creature fights another target creature. That's pretty sick, man. It's a good Aragorn card. These are some good Aragorn cards. Time of Need, I am aware of this one. This one is just a nice one. It just fetches up your legendaries, right? Beautiful card, just puts it right into your hand. Fantastic Kamigawa card. Love that card. Thanks, man. Beautiful stuff. Titanic Ultimatum. Until end of turn, creatures control get 5/5 in game. First strike, lifelink, and trample. Boom. In your face. Nice one. Ooh, this one looks sweet. Acroma, Angel of Wrath. Should we put this in the Omnath deck? Just do like Angel Tribal Omnath. Oh my god, it'd be such a meme deck just to like get Avacyn in this, homie. And you can do 5 color angels with Omnath Locus of All, right? Because they all have like 3 or more like plain pips in their mana cost. Flying First Strike Vigi. Trample Haste. Protection from black, protection from red. Yo. It's a whopper. Cool. Just good art there. Seeding Song. Oh, you're doing some fast mana stuff, huh? Yikes. This is a nasty looking card. Seeding Song, thank you so much. This is so fun. 3 mana here investment, and you can just get 5, like a nice ritual effect. Love it. And here's Price of Progress, our last one. Price of Progress deals 2 damage to each player for each non-basic land he or she controls. Oh dear, that's a nasty one. I can imagine that could really just kind of take people out. There's a card, there's a new Lynx in Standard that has that effect, and it can usually be sideboarded. It kind of brutalizes people if they're not playing any basics, and your domain just hates that, right? You just, smack that Lynx down, and I believe they're just taking a lot of damage because they just don't run that many basic lands. So how wonderful. So thanks again, Vahn. I appreciate this. It's definitely got like the wheels spinning. We can look at these beautiful cards, some nice selection here. Some cards that, we don't see. Like, look at this guy, Tower Winder. That's definitely a card. Congregation at Dawn, some beautiful tutors here, kind of a tutor-like effects, just some nice little sweet cards. And I see where you're going. Thank you for putting that Hedron Crab. That's like some nice psychic stuff. This one is cool too. I wonder how to work this Library Lang, how you've used it before, but it seems mostly interesting, right? You can it's basically like, I suppose it's like a Seagate Restoration where you don't have to discard your hand. And then if you discard randomly, you can still like choose the card that you want to discard into the top of your library, which is interesting. Here's the Tron Lands are just wonderful. Obviously, Urza's Tower is the big boss there. And yeah, on the way to 400, guys. So, what do you think, guys? What do you think? I hope you all have a wonderful day. Like and comment, share with your friends. Maybe subscribe if you enjoyed the content so far on the channel. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.